And we bid you welcome on this 7th and final day of these World Championships in Helsinki. The marathon runners will be the first to get underway on a cool day with gentle breezes. The temperature's dropped. It's ideal conditions for marathon running. The sun just creeping out from behind the clouds occasionally, and 82 starters on their way to 26 miles, 385 miles. The historic marathon out of the stadium, around the city of Helsinki, and back into the stadium. And there's a wider spread of nationalities in this race than any other. Nearly 160 nations taking part. Tall man from Sweden and little men from Ethiopia. Strong men from Australia and hard men from East Germany. And the Finns will be looking for those pale blue vests. And it's an Ethiopian that takes up the lead, and Robert de Castello looking up towards the camera in 4th place with green shorts and a white top. The favourite from Australia. The Iron Man, they call him. The winner of the Commonwealth Games in Australia. They're cheered on their way. They'll make good uses of the sponges and the watering stations that they find on the course. They'll make friends during the race. There's Cierpinski in the blue and white of East Germany, twice the Olympic champion. An absolutely packed stadium, tickets at a premium. Impossible to get in if you haven't got a ticket long in advance, unless you're prepared to pay many times the face value of that ticket. The marathon runners not yet stretching their legs, just easing their way round, anxious to know who will be the front runners. Balcha of Ethiopia is the front runner. Nabidi Balcha from Ethiopia, the world champions at cross country. But all of them sizing up the opposition and wondering what their fate will be at the end of 42 kilometers. Out into the streets. What a magnificent view of the Olympic Stadium. Through the tunnel. And I would imagine that most of the course will be lined by Finns to cheer them on the way, for it's a very popular activity, marathon running in Finland. The first final of the afternoon, the marathon. The second, the women's 200 meters. Florence Griffith of USA on the inside. Bailey of Canada in 2. Kathy Cook of Great Britain in 3. Kasperczyk of Poland in 4. Nuneva of Bulgaria in 5. The favourite Marita Koch in 6, the world record holder. The Commonwealth champion Marlene Ottey of Jamaica in lane 7. And Grace Jackson, this very tall girl from Jamaica, in lane 8. And Marita Koch and Merlene Ottey drawn together, the two favourites, in lanes 6 and 7, and they're going well. So tall is the very tall girl, all in white, from Great Britain, Kathy Cook. On the inside, Florence Griffith of America, and she's battling for the bronze, but away comes Marita Koch, who has a gold and silver already from these championships, and she's going to run to the line. First from Merlene Ottey of Jamaica, who finished 4th in the 100. There they are together. The girl in the bronze medal, though, was Kathy Cook of Great Britain, and Florence Griffith of the United States finished in 4th. What a marvellous championships Marita Koch is having. 15 years of age, she ran 22.5 for 200 meters, and she's been setting championship records ever since. Now 26, twice the European champion at 400 meters, convincingly beating Kracoch Vilova in Athens last year. The Olympic 400 meter champion, and she holds no fewer than 12 world records. 6 at 400, 3 at 200, 1 each at 4x100, 4x200, and 4x400. And here she is, winning a world title from Merlene Ottey of Jamaica, from Kathy Cook of Great Britain, and Florence Griffith of America. And her time, 22.13. A picture of Grace and athleticism. As she holds off, the Jamaican girl just leans in at the tape, holds her arms aloft, and has the smile of a world champion. Marita Koch. Confirmation of the result there. Kathy Cook of Great Britain getting the bronze medal. The American girl just run out of it in fourth. Koch from Ottey from Cook. Now the men down for the 200 meters final. What a final this should be. Simeonata of Italy in 1, Egbeniki of Nigeria in 2, Calvin Smith from America in 3, Alan Wells from Great Britain in 4, the Olympic 100 meters champion. Mennea, the world's fastest at the moment in Italy, in lane 5. Elliott Quow of America in 6, Franklin Eamonn from East Germany in 7, Da Silva of Brazil, the find of these championships at only 19, drawn in lane 8. Calvin Smith is away the faster in lane 3. He was the fastest qualifier, and he's really running hard now. Elliott Quow, the big American, in lane 6, beginning to get away from Alan Wells and Pietro Mennea. They're running for the bronze. No doubt about the winner, Calvin Smith. The other American is second. It will take a photograph to separate third and fourth between Mennea of Italy and Wells of Great Britain, the Commonwealth champion. But the man who holds the world record for 100 meters, Calvin Smith, who was in the shadow of Carl Lewis in the 100 meters, now emerges from that shadow to win the 200 meters in magnificent style. Watch him get away. He's never headed, in fact, Calvin Smith. He had a silver medal in the 100 meters. He's already overtaken Alan Wells in lane 4. The big, powerful Briton, all in white. Coming up on the wide is Eamonn of East Germany in lane 7, and inside him the big American Elliott Quow. Quow breaks away from the pack to make certain of second. Now watch the run to the line for the bronze. I think it's Mennea. It's Mennea from Alan Wells, from Frank Eamonn. And this man, who is a lightweight amongst those finalists there, really flows. He has his head back, his arms high, looks across, no one in contention, and the championship is his. Calvin Smith's time, a magnificent 20.14. Elliott Quow, 20.41. And Mennea of Italy confirmed as the bronze medalist. Out on the marathon course, they've been going some time, 21 kilometers, 12.5 miles. 1063 we're looking at, and 1063 is Stahl of Sweden. And in the pack, some other interesting numbers. 1065 is Ron Tab. There's a Finn there, Tajanen. 1042 is Marchak of Poland. 1055 is Poli of Italy. And they're away around this picturesque course. And 12.5 miles gone, just about the halfway stage. The helicopter looking down on them. There's a great pack together. No one's really broken away as yet. No sign of a charge. There really is a mass of them. 1026. And 1026 is Stigro Husby. And one of the Africans breaking away. In the pack is De Castello. Look, in the middle, 1008. Rob De Castella of Australia, the favourite to win. Now the 1500 meters final for women. The favourites really drawn on the outside. Mary Decker of the United States takes on 3 Russians of great stature. Zamira Zaysteva, who wears 476. Yekaterina Podkopayeva, who wears 463. And Ravilia Agletdinova, who wears 433. They're the big 4. Mary Decker, who's never been headed in these championships or in any race this year. She sets off with Zaysteva following her, then the tall Czechoslovakian girl, Ivana Kleinova, then the Italian girl, Gabriella Dorio, who is the Italian 800 and 1500 meter champion. And then Podkopayeva, the second Soviet girl. And we've got Wendy Sly of Great Britain wearing 186. Christina Boxer of Great Britain tucking in there with Doina Melinti on the outside in the yellow of Romania. Mary Decker, such a popular champion, a marvellous front runner, already the winner of the 3,000 metres. She's actually only the 8th fastest girl of all time at this distance, and yet only 2 Russian girls have ever won races in faster times. The rest have been pulled to faster times. And she's been running for America, wearing their vest proudly since she was a youngster of 15 years of age. Oregon-based, she has the world record for 10,000 metres, and many think she could be the first to break 2 hours 20 for a marathon. She loves running, is a marvellous runner. She's coached by Dick Brown, and she has the Russian favorite, Zamira Zaysteva, who was the silver medalist in Athens at the European Championships, to Duvina, and the winner of the Spartakiad. Now, is this girl going to be the first to get in front of her? As Wendy Sly of Great Britain, slim, pencil slim, in 3rd place, keeps shoulder to shoulder with Gabriella Dorio of Italy and the second Russian girl, who is Podkopayeva. She's been joined by Agletdinova, who was second in that Spartakiad, a former 800-meter specialist who's run 156.1 for that distance. But here they are, racing over 3 3/4 laps. That's the girl in the second pack from Switzerland, Cornelia Berkey, who was actually born in South Africa. And coming up on the outside, Christina Boxer of Great Britain, the United Kingdom record holder, running wide at the moment. They take the bell, and still Mary Decker of the United States, who won the 3,000 meters, goes off in the lead. And still the Russian girl Zaysteva can't get past. And still Wendy Sly keeps in 3rd, and Dorio of Italy in 4th, and the other 2 Russian girls 5th and 6th, with Doina Melinti of Romania, the tall girl in yellow, gets up in 6th, and Christina Boxer a little shy of the pace in 7th. And is the Russian girl going to get ahead now? Zaysteva edging out Mary Decker. Mary Decker holding the bend, sprinting hard and leaning, but she's headed for the first time by a meter and a half, maybe 2 meters. The Russian girl Zaysteva gets away. 4:63 Podkopayeva, and suddenly it's an American-Russian battle, and Mary Decker pulls out wide and comes again and looks over her shoulder. She's got the silver, but can she get the gold? It's a remarkable sprint for the tape, and Decker of the United States gets there as the Russian girl flings herself at the line. And I'm sure she's okay, and I'm sure that she'll get the silver medal so bravely, but it's her torso to reach the line, and by rolling across the line, Zaysteva guaranteed her 2nd place, and Mary Decker didn't even know what was going on behind her. What a remarkable race. What a marvelous double for the American girl, still only 25. Look at this run for the line. Zaysteva, the 5'4", 30-year-old Russian girl, who's the European silver medalist, must have thought she'd won this 1,500 meters. And the even longer striding Mary Decker, who's only 5'5", flings herself at the tape, as does Zaysteva. She rolls across the line. Podkopayeva comes in for the bronze medal, bringing Agletdinova in 4th, and Wendy Sly in 5th, Melinti in 6th. That run at the tape, one of the great challenges in modern racing, and Mary Decker is world champion yet again. An extraordinary run, and a marvelously popular victory, because she's broken the chain over the East European dominance in this event. They've won all the major championships in recent years. 3 Russian girls, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, but Mary Decker of the United States of America is the winner. Her time just outside 4 minutes. 1 hour, 29 minutes of the marathon gone, which should take about 2 hours and 10 minutes. And in the lead, 1016, Jama of Djibouti, who's an absolute unknown quantity. He's got Balcha of Ethiopia following. Tab of the United States is coming in. Tyanen of Finland in the blue, wearing 1069. 1045 rather. Giampaolo Messina of Italy, they're in the chasing pack. But this 24-year-old who finished second in the African Championships, but really we've seen little of him in the Western world. Roblin Jama is taking the lead for Djibouti, and that must be the first time Djibouti has led in a major championships at any race, and how nice to see it. The Ethiopian Kebede Balcha in second. The 1500 meters men's final. What a race this is. It's got Ovid, it's got Cram, it's got Saeed Aouita, it's got Steve Scott of America, and it's got Abascal of Spain that takes the lead at the moment, and Zdravkovic of Yugoslavia in second. Ovid, the Olympic champion at 800 meters, slightly balding head. The tall Czechoslovakian Kubista. The pace is slow. It's going to be a fast run for the tape. Menacingly moving up on the outside is Andreas Bussa in the East German gear. The Spaniard goes through 65.02 for 400 meters, and that's slower than the women's first lap of their race for the world title. Abascal still leads. It's still Zdravkovic of Yugoslavia in second, and suddenly the Czech bursts his way through. Jan Kubista, 6'4" tall, brushes them aside and comes through. Ovid is now in fourth on the Spaniard's shoulder. Bussa is in fifth, and this man who heads the world rankings, the find of the year, Saeed Aouita, running wide on the outside in green and red. Suddenly a West German vest appears. That's Uwe Becker wearing 275. Still, the pace isn't dramatically fast. John Walker's at the back. Steve Cram, another of the favourites, just barging past the Kenyan athlete Mike Boyd to get a better run. And the tall, blonde-haired boy from the northeast of England, Steve Cram, begins to move up through the field and goes past his fellow countryman and takes with him the very good fast-finishing American Steve Scott, all in red. They're beginning to get themselves poised. It's winding up nicely. Saeed Aouita goes up on the shoulder of the Czech. Kubista still leads. Cram is in second. Scott is in third. Mike Boyd comes wide. Scott is blowing hard. No place in there for Ovid, the Olympic champion, to get out. He's dreadfully boxed. He really is. Abascal finds a way clear. Walker finds a way clear. Still, Ovid can't find a way out. The most experienced man like Ovid, and he still can't get out. He's boxed. They've got one lap to go. And the race is really hotting up. And away goes Saeed Aouita from Morocco. And Cram is chasing, and Scott is chasing him, and Abascal of Spain is chasing him. And this injection of pace has spread them out along the line. Ovid is running into sixth, is on the shoulder of the tall Czechoslovakian Kubista. But still it's Cram at only 22. The European and Commonwealth champion gets away from the Moroccan. Scott sees the danger and chases past the Moroccan, or he can't get past, and Cram is heading for home, and they'll have to do something soon if they're going to stop the 22-year-old. Scott, the fast finisher, is coming on Aouita's shoulder. Abascal on the inside. Cram is heading for home, and Ovid can do little about it, and Scott's not going to finish him either, and it's going to be the Britisher that hits the line first, and that's a marvellous win for him. Stephen Cram adds a world title to his Commonwealth and European title. Steve Scott of America finished second. Saeed Aouita brings a medal to Morocco, one of their first in a major championships for many years. And Steve Ovet, the Olympic 800 meters champion, can only finish fourth. And the crowd rise to this youngster. Steve Cram, what a season he's having. What a year he had last year. The sprint, when he made it, was a long, hard one for home. He made it 200 meters out and was never headed. Scott could not close that gap. Aouita hangs on for third, ahead of Ovid and Abascal. A race that started slowly but finished fast. 3:41 is not fast in modern parlance, but it was the manner of this young man's win. 3 major titles at only 22 years of age. Goes back home to get married, Stephen Cram, 3:41.59. Forget the times, he'll say they were slow. Scott, Aouita, Ovid, Abascal, Deliz, Bussa, and Zdravkovic of Yugoslavia. And suddenly there's a break in the marathon at 37.7 kilo. That's 23 3/4 miles, and it's the Iron Man from Australia. He gets away. We're trying to look at the man in second place at the moment, and this looks punishing. It means that Robert de Castello of Australia has got away, and just at the time he likes to get away. Stahl of Sweden's in the following group. Cierpinski is as well. And that break, there's Hugh Jones heading the third, and it looks like one of the Ethiopians. I'm sure it is. It looks like Balcha, but 1002 it is. Kebede Balcha of Ethiopia, the only man to go with this fella, who's a biophysicist from Canberra, who knows all about his own physiological requirements for this race. He won the Commonwealth in fine style, breaking away from two Africans that followed him and pushed him and went ahead of him. He kept his head, and he was crowned King of the Commonwealth on Coronation Drive. He came back to Europe to take on the best of the Americans, and he cracked them in Rotterdam. He looks over his shoulder now as he comes up to the 2-hour mark, and Robert de Castello of Australia has broken away, and the Ethiopian can do little about it. He's raced Castella before in Tokyo. He was beaten well, and look how strong this man looks. The long jump for women. Following breeze behind them, conditions ideal. There's the final. Very strong Eastern European countries, of course, but then there's a very good American girl, Carl Lewis's sister, Carol. And here she is. Carl Lewis's little sister, and what a talent she is. Thumps the board hard, and look at that, she's near 7 meters. Just checking that board. $6.93 meters, and that is a brilliant jump in the first round, 22 feet 9. Now here's the girl who holds the world record, and it's a world record of monumental proportions, 7:43, 24 feet 4.5. Anisoara Cusmir of Romania. She's become the Bob Beamon of women's long jumping. Tall, stately, and attractive girl. What's her response? 7 meters and 15 centimeters. What an extraordinary jump. 23 feet 5.5 inches for the Romanian girl. And here's a tough competitor, only 18 years of age, Heike Daute, but another of the great talents from East Germany. Long and fast, not as high, but my word, she sprints well. Heike Daute. White flag. Takeoff was good. 7 meters 27. She hasn't seen it yet, but she must be delighted. 23 feet 10.25 to take the lead over the world record holder. And what a day for an 18-year-old who was only 4th in the European Championships. That really is extraordinarily good. What sort of response can Carol Lewis give, who herself is only 20? She's got 2 other brothers, both fine athletes. Her mother was a champion hurdler, her father a track coach. So she's got all the credentials for doing well, and what a great future she's going to have in this event. She's a good hurdler too. Is she going to get amongst the medals with that jump? It's turning out to be one of the greatest women long jumps of all time. Better even than Moscow when 3 girls were over 7 meters. 7:04, lifetime best for Carol Lewis. Over 23 feet, American record for her. Now Zamira, Romanian 21-year-old, winner of the World Student Games Championship. Unusual run, but my word, she hits the board hard. She sails out there. She has a hollow back and a hang technique rather than a hitch kick, which is that bicycling motion of the legs. And what sort of response is that? 6.99 not enough, and she's lost the gold medal because Daute is still to come, and here she is. What a series she's put together. That 7:27 still leads, 3 leaps over 7 meters, which is quite extraordinary. 3 23-foot jumps, and now 1 to go. A fairy story for an 18-year-old. But what confidence as she strikes the board. Everything to gain and nothing to lose. Brilliant jumping, just 1 centimeter down on her best. She cannot be bettered, and she is the world champion at 18. An extraordinary series from Heike Daute, who was only 4th in the European Championships, although she holds the East German record set this year, and that is an extraordinary series of jumps. 4 girls over 23 feet, and that is remarkable. The gold going to East Germany, the silver to Romania. Carol Lewis collecting the bronze. And now the man who's on his way. 400 meters to the finish for Robert de Castella of Australia, 26 years of age. The winner in Rotterdam, the Commonwealth champion. The winner of the 1981 Fukuoka Marathon in Japan, which was where he first came to the fore. A biophysicist in sports medicine who really is responsible for the training and the testing and the measuring of other athletes. So he knows all about timing himself well, and he's made up time on the second part of this marathon as the second man comes in, and it looks like the Ethiopian Kebede Balcha, who is in second place, has done well as de Castella looks over his shoulder to find another man in the stadium at the same time, and 2 others following that. 1063 Shell Eric Stahl, and it looked like Cierpinski of East Germany, double Olympic champion, in 4th, and I can see them on the far side, and they will have a battle for the bronze because Stahl looks tired and Cierpinski is on his shoulder. Australia have a world champion in their Ironman from Canberra. Ethiopia have a medal at last, having dominated world cross-country running and having been brilliant at the distances, have had a thin time just recently, and now Kebede Balcha at 31 picks up a silver medal as he takes the line just 25 seconds outside de Castella, and Cierpinski has won the race for the bronze from Stahl of Sweden. 34 seconds down on the winner, and this is the other Ethiopian, or is it the Tanzanian? It's the Tanzanian that finishes in 4th, and that was a fine run for him. Others, that's the Belgian coming in now, and de Castella waits to shake hands with all those that are coming up. Fine wins. De Castella on a lap of honour. The very tall Swede there shaking hands with Cierpinski, who beat him in. We've seen Stahl, we've seen Marsong of Tanzania, and there was Parmentier of Belgium, and it was Poli of Italy, Hugh Jones of Great Britain finishing 8th. The winner's time, 2 hours, 10.03, and it's another major victory for the Australian. The pole vault, which has been going on since 10 o'clock this morning. That clock showing time is running out. Quinon of France. Most experienced vaulter. He won't want the time to run out. He's given 2 minutes. Pierre Quinon. Oh, and that's his third and final attempt at 5 meters 40. 5 meters 40, 17 feet 8.5. 3 dashes, 3 failures. Pierre Quinon of France. A very disappointed man. The French with great strength in depth, but this is Volkov of the Soviet Union attempting 5 meters 60, 18 feet 4.5. going clear. A fine, fine vault for the Soviet athlete. And that must get him a medal of some sort. Konstantin Volkov, wearing 8.66. A plus for the first vault at 5.60. Tarev of Bulgaria, who's been doing very well this year and had a bronze medal in Athens in the European Championships, holding very high, plants it firmly, rides the pole, drags himself around, and he can't believe that the bar has stayed up there, because that 5.60 may also give him a medal. Atanas Tarev of Bulgaria, 25 years of age. He's very short. He's only 5'9.5", which is very short for a world-class vaulter. He brushed that with his chest and bounced it down. Here's the new find. This is the Russian Bubka, 19 years of age. What a talent he is. Bubka absolutely flying at the next height and taking the lead with a big grin on his face. He's got a brother who's a very good vaulter, but he makes 5.60 on his third attempt, 18 feet 4.5. In fact, he lives to fight again. Bar has now been raised. This is Tarev at 5.65, and he has one final attempt, 18.6.5. No, he can't get away with it that time, but he may well have collected a medal. Tarev of Bulgaria. The Russians left in 5.70. Volkov prowling about. Bubka on the runway, the 19-year-old. Now, a victory here would put the gold medal beyond doubt. Oh, and he drapes himself beautifully around that bar at 18 feet 8.25. No wonder he's grinning. An extraordinary vault ahead of Konstantin Volkov and Tarev. First vault at 5.70. That must surely mean the championship is his. The plant firm, the bend, exciting, and he's beautifully controlled with that gymnastic drape around the bar. Arms aloft, because he knows that first over means victory is within his grasp. Just checking there with the judges, Volkov and Bubka. And now Volkov attempting 5.75, and that's 18 feet 10.5. He needs to go one height clear. He's got 13 seconds left. Time ticking away. He's got 2 vaults left at this height, and he must hurry, or he'll have a red flag. He's not started yet. That's extraordinary. And one of the judges has moved forward with a red flag, and he's indicating to him that this will count as his second one. And the judge steps back. I hope the judge understood what he meant. He's allowed 2 minutes to make a vault. He went over his 2 minutes, but he's got 2 vaults left. So it's all or nothing at 5.75. Going for gold, oh, and dismally failing out on that, and leaving the gold medal to his fellow countryman Bubka. $5.75. The world champion Bubka has put the bar to 5.82, a new world record height of 19 feet 1 inch. He's had 2 failures, but he's entertaining the crowd, although he's already won the gold medal. No, he's not near it on that time. But the Soviet Union get gold and silver. The Bulgarian takes the bronze. And a new find in Sergei Bubka at 19. Becomes the new Soviet world champion. An extraordinary talent. Bubka wins from Volkov, from Tarev, from the former Olympic champion Sluziarski. Hitnas, who's American-based but vaulting for Brazil. The Bada of France, no medals for France, despite their great strength in depth. 5,000 meters. Martti Vainio of Finland. Look at the big names here. Bulti of Ethiopia, Coghlan of Ireland, Krukmeliuk of the Soviet Union, Dr. Thomas Wessinghager of West Germany, Schildhauer of East Germany, Antibo of Italy, Kip Koch of Kenya, Lealto of Portugal, Riffel of Switzerland. And with 2 laps to go, it's a tremendous race that's on. The Russian has been giving them a hard time. Dmitriev, Eamonn Coghlan still up there, Kip Koch, Vainio, Doug Padilla of the United States has come up to Kip Koch, and suddenly the race is on. The West German is still in there with the red band across his chest. Thomas Wessinghager, Vainio of Finland near the back with Schildhauer watching him. Padilla in front of that. But this is the new Soviet middle distance find, Dmitry Dmitriev. And he really has opened up an astonishing gap. I think he's heading for home. With a lap at the length of the straight to go, Wessinghager senses that he's gone, and so does Coghlan. Coghlan, the brilliant indoor world record holder for a mile, has got to close a gap of 8 meters. Coghlan of Ireland, 4th in the Olympic Games in 1976, 4th in the Olympic Games in 1980, and suddenly we've got Dmitriev, the 27-year-old winner of the Spartakiad, away, and Eamonn Coghlan has to chase him, and it's just a race for the gold, it would seem. Dmitriev holds on. Coghlan has reached him. There's safety there. There's a certain medal for Coghlan. Is it the gold or is it the silver? He's wanted this. He's waited for it in a major championship for many years. The very likeable 30-year-old, and he's raising his arm in victory already, and he has a look at the Soviet athlete who's broken, and he looks across and says, I'm sorry, but I've got to go for home. And Vainio of Finland comes up with Schildhauer on his shoulder, and 50,000 people go mad because Finland wants a bronze medal. Ireland have got the gold, and look at this, Schildhauer's going to get the silver. And what about Vainio? He dives at the line. Would you believe, I think he's got the bronze. Now that was truly astonishing. The dive for the line, astonishing from Vainio. What a confident Eamonn Coghlan, though, that went forward to take that. I hope we get a chance to see that again. Poor Dmitry Dmitriev of the Soviet Union must have thought he was second. He finishes up with nothing. Coghlan's lead is now 15 meters. Schildhauer of East Germany, the silver. What about that? I think so. Vainio. The crowd roar as they see the picture on the board. Vainio has the silver. Schildhauer has a double silver medal. Well, this man, Dmitry Dmitriev, who was only 11th in Athens, has come on as a world force, and he must have felt that he had to wilt then as Coghlan smiles across and says, the race is mine. The time not particularly fast, but a first gold medal for Ireland and for Eamonn Coghlan in a major championship. Schildhauer, the East German, collects his second silver medal. Martti Vainio collects the bronze. The 4x400 meters relay for women. USA drawn on the inside, then Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia with a very, very strong team with Tatiana Kochembova on the first leg. Then West Germany, Canada, the Soviet Union drawn in lane 6, who've got a good squad. Romania, and the strongest squad in the world that you're looking at now. This is Kerstin Walter going off for East Germany. Her job to get a big lead and get away from the Soviets and the Czechs, although the Czech girl, who had a silver medal in the individual 400 meters, running well, so well in lane 3, that Czechoslovakia, in my book at the moment, lead. And Kerstin Walter of East Germany is in second place. But it's their teamwork that counts. And remember, the stagger doesn't unwind in the 4x400 meters until they've run the whole of one lap and the first bend of the next. So it'll be difficult to see who wins until they get all the way around the next bend. East Germany passed the baton, but Czechoslovakia passed the baton first, the Soviet Union third, and Canada coming away fourth, then America, but suddenly it is a battle between the big three. The white-shirted Czechoslovakian squad and the Russian squad going exceptionally well. The Russians coming across, and for Russia, they've got Marina Ivanova, and then the East Germans, to their amazement, find themselves in third. Undini Bremner, who has a sister, Christina Bremner, who also runs. And these three break away from the rest, and it looks as though it's going to be a battle between the big three: Czechoslovakia, Soviet Union, and East Germany. The East German girl coming up past the Soviet girl, made back a lot of ground, started slowly, finished fast, and gives the great Marita Koch the baton. Now this is a piece of tactical planning by the East German team, to give the former world record holder at 400 meters the baton in the third leg, to try and break the back of the two strong teams, the Soviet team and the Czechoslovakian team. And look how she flies down the back straight. That is a massive lead that she's opening up, getting away from Baskakova, getting away from the Czechoslovakian girl, Moravchikova, and that is a marvelous run. Canada in fourth, but they're so far back that one can't see them getting into the medals. Marita Koch, multi-world record holder, multi-champion here, must surely have given the East Germans a commanding lead. And off goes the final girl. And who have the Czechs saved till last? Well, of course, it's the great Jarmila Kratochvilova. Surely she can't close the gap on the East German team. The East German team with Sabine Busch, it was a semi-finalist at 400, 40 yards clear, but look what she's doing to the Soviet girl. And this is an extraordinary leg. Incidentally, on that third leg for the East German team, Marita Koch ran 48.6 for a flying 400 meters. What time will this girl do? The new world record holder, Jarmila Kratochvilova. And can she possibly catch the East German girl? This is astounding. But I think the East German girl is going to hang on. The East Germans are going to get the gold. Czechoslovakia the silver. Soviet Union bronze, and that was a truly remarkable race. One of the fastest times. It's just outside the world record. It's 0.5 outside the world record. And would you believe that Jarmila Kratochvilova ran 47.5 for her leg, whilst the East Germans celebrate. And they did it. The girl on the left, Marita Koch, with a big smile there, breaking the back of the opposition by running that brilliant third leg. 3:19.73 against the world record of 3:19.04, which stands to East Germany in 1982. Canada in fourth, USA, West Germany. The discus for men. Clouds gathering, the wind behind. Not ideal conditions for the discus. Many men have fallen by the wayside. The world record holder, Yuri Dumchev, failed to make it. John Powell of the United States failed to make this final. Here's one of the favorites, Imrich Bugar of Czechoslovakia, a massive man, the European champion. 6'5", 20 stones or more. 28 years of age. Silver in the Olympic Games. Winds up, runs across, hurls the discus. 2 kilograms it weighs, and away it goes, not far short of 70 meters, and he knows that's a very good throw. And aren't Czechoslovakia having a brilliant games? What is it, he says? Enough to frighten the rest, I would think. Goes into first, 67 meters and 72 centimeters. Extraordinary. Now a big roar for Eamonn of Finland. 27. Listen to them roar. Listen to them roar. Finland loves its champions and its triers. (65.44), he goes into second in the second round, and that's a lifetime best, so he's done extremely well. Now the massively muscled Louis Delis of Cuba. Bronze in the Olympic Games, the Central American champion, who really would do well in world weightlifting. Tosses that 2-kilogram discus up like a frisbee. Louis Delis floats like a ballet dancer. Elegant and fast now. Is that as far as 67.48 from Bubka of Czechoslovakia? It must surely be near. He doesn't look very happy. He doesn't think it's far enough. 66.30, and that is good enough for second place. Now, Geza Valent of Czechoslovakia, another massive man. How well the Czechs have done. Two men capable of getting medals in this event. Watch him pivot on that left foot, run across this 8-foot, 2.5-inch circle, arrive in the center on balance with a flex leg, and watch him lift it from that leg against a braced left side. Lift! And lash it with his arm. And that too is way out there. That could be a medal. It could be a medal place. It's not the 67 meters of his fellow countryman, Bubka. Bubka shaking hands with him there. 66.08, but he's in the bronze medal position. Now for Delis of Cuba. 67.72 to beat. 2 throws left. Turns the plate over, as it were. Holds it high on his hand. Oh, that's long. Oh, that is long. Delis of Cuba unleashing a mighty throw in the closing rounds. 67.48. Oh, it's 67.36. He's a couple of centimeters down, and the challenge has run out. It really was won by inches by Imre Bubka. Delis of Cuba, the silver. Valent of Czechoslovakia, the bronze. What a remarkable competition. Very high standard. Finland just missing out on the medals with Eamonn on 65.44. The 4x400 meters relay in which the Americans are expected to do so well. The Americans and the Russians there together. The Russian Lovachev holding off the very good American who is Alonso Babers, and trying to get past him, really trying hard and coming up to his shoulder, but the Russian running the race of his life as West Germany pulls up in third and Great Britain in fourth. And the Soviet Union running exceptionally well. Off goes Harold Schmidt on this third leg. Harold Schmidt chasing after them. The gap is a big one, but look for Willie Smith of America on the shoulder of Nikolai Chernyshevsky. Little Willie Smith, fourth in the US Championships, capable of extremely fast time. And only Ed Moses to go. Now, can Ed Moses pull it out of the fire? Can he get back that winning place from the Russians? Willie Smith goes around the outside. The big Russian holds him. Oh, and Willie Smith's gone! He's gone to the crashing to the ground and dropped the baton, and he can't make it up now, surely. Oh, that's a terrible shock for the Americans, who have a history of doing this in major championships. No fault of the Russian, entirely unaided. Markin, the Olympic champion, goes off. The West German Hartmut Weber is after him. Phil Brown of Great Britain is after him. Then the Italian goes next, who's Roberto Ribold, and really there's nothing can stop the Soviets taking the gold now. West Germany won't close that gap. The battle, if there's to be one, is between Great Britain and their chasers. And my word, Ed Moses with that 9-foot stride, he's eating up the ground and trying to get past the Czechoslovakians. He's gone past the Italians and he's chasing the Briton. He wants the bronze medal, but there's no doubt about who will take the gold medal. It will be the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union from West Germany, and Great Britain will get a surprise medal in bronze. Another very fast time indeed. Quite extraordinary, just outside 3 minutes. Poor United States of America as they walk past the celebrating Soviet Union squad. This was the incident And you'll see that the Russian athlete had nothing to do with it. It was a trip by Willie Smith. And it really was agonizing for him to watch the baton roll away. He picks himself up, but what has he lost? 40 yards, and that gap can't be made up, not even by the great Ed Moses. So the celebrations are over. The final track event goes to Russia. 41 gold medals have been won, and a mass of countries have been to these World Championships and have come to see a new World Championships which have been remarkably successful. They were all in very good form. They trained hard, and they discovered that to win a gold medal at these championships was very, very hard work indeed. The standard was quite magnificent. We've had great World Championships. It's captured the imagination of the sporting world and the rest of the world, and Finland have staged it quite magnificently. The atmosphere, the standards, the judging, the officialdom, everything has gone right to set the standard for years to come, when the world will be invited again to take part in a World Championships, and we hope to better the 157 countries, the 1,572 athletes, the 829 officials, and all those that make these championships the championships they were. The world's best athletes came to Helsinki for the most prestigious of titles, that of world champion. It demanded great sacrifice and dedication to reach that level. We can only stand back and admire and congratulate the quality of the winners and the losers, for they lost in great sporting spirit. And we congratulate our host city, Helsinki, for a marvelous spectacle of sport.